A life cut short. The disappearance of Wendy Halison. Wendy Halison was a young woman with a bright future. At 22 years old, she was pursuing her passion for art in the bustling city of Los Angeles. Life was full of promise for Wendy. Then, on September 29, 1968, she vanished. Wendy had simply gone out to run errands, a hairdryer, and some gas for her car. She never returned. Her sudden disappearance left her family and friends with a chilling question: where was Wendy? The days that followed Wendy's disappearance were agonizing for her loved ones. Hope dwindled with each passing hour. The police were contacted and a search began. Friends and family desperately looked for any sign of Wendy, holding on to the hope that she would be found safe. Tragically, fate had other plans. A gruesome discovery: finding Wendy's body. On September 30, 1968, the search for Wendy Halison took a devastating turn. Her car was found parked on Fairfax Avenue, a street seemingly familiar, yet now a place etched in tragedy. The discovery wasn't the reunion her family prayed for. Inside the trunk of her car, Wendy's lifeless body was found. The vibrant young woman was gone, leaving behind a void in the lives she touched. The discovery of Wendy's body sent shockwaves through the community. This was no accident. This was murder. The police investigation began immediately. Detectives swarmed the scene, searching for any clue that could lead them to Wendy's killer. The presence of a rope near the car, coupled with signs of a struggle, painted a grim picture. Wendy had fought for her life. Early leads and dead ends. The initial investigation. The early days of the investigation were a flurry of activity. Every lead was pursued, every witness interviewed. Detectives meticulously documented the scene, collecting evidence and trying to reconstruct the events leading to Wendy's murder. The focus quickly narrowed to those closest to Wendy, her inner circle. Among those questioned were Wendy's boyfriend, her ex-boyfriend, a close friend, and even her brother-in-law. Each man was scrutinized, their alibis checked and rechecked. The pressure mounted as detectives searched for inconsistencies, for any crack in their stories that could reveal the truth. However, despite their efforts, the investigation began to stall. The shadow of doubt. Suspects emerge. As the investigation continued, suspicion swirled around the men in Wendy's life. Her boyfriend, who had seemingly discovered her car during the search, raised red flags. His alibi seemed too convenient, his demeanor suspicious. A lie detector test only deepened the suspicion, but concrete evidence remained elusive. The ex-boyfriend, harboring his own share of jealousy and anger, was also considered a person of interest. Had a past love turned into a deadly obsession? The unidentified friend, his connection to Wendy shrouded in mystery, added another layer of complexity to the case. And then there was the brother-in-law, his relationship with Wendy scrutinized under the harsh glare of suspicion. Yet despite the suspicions and the scrutiny, no arrests were made. Section 5. A cold case cools decades of silence. As weeks turned into months, the trail went cold. The leads dried up, the initial frenzy of the investigation faded. Wendy's case, once a top priority, was relegated to the growing pile of unsolved mysteries. Years turned into decades, and the hope of finding Wendy's killer seemed to fade with time. But for Wendy's family, the pain never went away. The unanswered questions, the lack of closure, haunted them. The thought of Wendy's killer walking free was unbearable. They clung to the hope that someday, somehow, justice would be served. Section 6. A new millennium, a new hope reopening Wendy's case. In 1998, a glimmer of hope emerged from the shadows of the past. LAPD criminalist Harry Clan Jr., driven by an unwavering dedication to cold cases, decided to reopen Wendy's case. Armed with advancements in DNA technology, he believed there was a chance, however slim, to finally uncover the truth. Clan meticulously reviewed the case files, poring over every detail, every piece of evidence. His attention was drawn to Wendy's clothing, carefully preserved for decades. Technology had advanced since 1968, and Clan hoped that DNA analysis, a tool unavailable during the initial investigation, could provide the breakthrough they needed. Section 7. The power of DNA. A glimmer of hope emerges. Clan submitted Wendy's clothing for DNA testing, hoping for a breakthrough, a process that held both promise and uncertainty. Days turned into weeks, as they anxiously awaited the results, their nerves fraying with each passing day. Finally, the lab report arrived, and with it a surge of hope filled the room. Trace amounts of bodily fluids, perhaps sweat or saliva, had been found on Wendy's clothes, a crucial piece of evidence. The DNA profile was a partial match to a national database, sparking new leads. The initial suspects were located and asked to provide DNA samples for comparison. The wait for the results was agonizing, filled with tension and hope. One by one, each man was ruled out as the DNA did not match any of the suspects. The case once again hit a dead end, leaving investigators frustrated. Despite the setback, the hope remained, a flicker in the darkness. The killer had left his DNA behind, a silent witness to his crime. It was only a matter of time before he made a mistake, leading to his capture. Section 8. Relentless Pursuit. The team committed to justice. The investigation into Wendy's murder gained new momentum in 2016 when a dedicated team of investigators decided to tackle the cold case. Cold case detective Richard Bankston, known for his tenacity and his unwavering commitment to seeking justice for victims, joined forces with Harry Clan. Together with the support of former Deputy District Attorney Peter Berman, they embarked on a mission to find Wendy's killer. Bankston, driven by a deep sense of empathy for Wendy and her family, refused to let the case fade away. He believed that with fresh eyes, persistence, and the ever-advancing field of forensic science, they could finally bring closure to a family that had waited for far too long. Section 9. A Killer Unmasked, identifying Edwin Dean Richardson. In the summer of 2016, Harry Clan resubmitted the DNA profile extracted from Wendy's clothing to a national database, hoping for a match. Weeks later, the results came back. This time, there was a hit. The DNA belonged to Edwin Dean Richardson, a man with a chilling past. Richardson had a long and violent criminal history, one that sent chills down the spines of the investigators. His rap sheet included convictions for attempted robbery, kidnapping, and even murder. A disturbing pattern began to emerge, one that linked Richardson to a string of crimes against women. Could this be the break they had been waiting for? Section 10. A Trail of Terror. Richardson's History of Violence. Edwin Dean. Richardson's life was a chilling testament to the darkness that can reside within a human being. His actions left a trail of fear and devastation in their wake. His first brush with the law came in 1960 when he was convicted of attempted robbery and kidnapping in San Diego. This marked the beginning of a long and violent criminal career. Sentenced to 8 years in prison, Richardson was paroled in 1968, the same year Wendy Halison vanished under mysterious circumstances, never to be seen again. Upon his release, Richardson's reign of terror continued unabated. He seemed unstoppable, evading capture time and again. He was linked to several other crimes, including the brutal murder of Joanna Bowner in the late 1970s, a case that shocked the community. In 2006, DNA evidence finally connected him to a cold case murder in Orange County, California, bringing new hope to the victims' families. Extradited to California, Richardson was finally brought to justice for his heinous crimes. His capture marked the end of a long and terrifying chapter. In 2013, he received a life sentence for the 1972 assault and death of Marlo G. Hires, ensuring he would never harm another soul again. Section 11. Justice Delayed, Not Denied, Closure for Wendy's Family. Edwin Dean Richardson died in prison in 2013, his life sentence a testament to the horrific crimes he committed. His death marked the end of a dark chapter, but not the end of the story for Wendy's family. Although he could not be tried for Wendy Halison's murder, the DNA evidence left no doubt that he was responsible for her death. This crucial piece of evidence was the key to unlocking the truth that had been buried for so long. In August 2017, nearly 5 decades after her murder, Wendy's family finally received the news they had been waiting for. The call brought a wave of emotions, a mix of sorrow and relief, as they learned that justice had finally been served. The tireless efforts of the investigators, particularly the unwavering dedication of Harry Clan and Richard Bankston, ensured that Wendy's case would not be forgotten. Their relentless pursuit of the truth kept the case alive, even when it seemed like all hope was lost. They brought a sense of justice, albeit delayed, to a family that had endured unimaginable pain and uncertainty. The closure they provided was a testament to their commitment and perseverance. Wendy's case serves as a reminder that even in the face of seemingly insurmountable odds, the pursuit of justice must never waver. It is a beacon of hope for all those who continue to seek answers. For Wendy, and for all victims of violent crimes, we must never stop seeking answers, never stop fighting for the truth. The journey may be long and arduous, but the quest for justice is a noble and necessary one. In the end, it is the unwavering determination to uncover the truth that brings light to the darkest of times.